Good evening, everyone. Happy Wednesday. I hope that you're having a great day or a great end of the day. For us, we're in New York. It was a little bit of a snow day in that it snowed but didn't stick to the ground. But it was very pretty to look outside, so I liked that. Winter's one of my favorite seasons. So we are back with 31 days of doodling presented by the new NYC Planner Addicts and featuring myself and Anna from Anna XO on Instagram. And we are doing a doodle every day. Anna goes on in the morning to do her presentation on how to construct the image, and then I'm here in the afternoon to incorporate this doodle into a 2-page creative journaling spread. So today is day 9, and this planner that we're using is available for free on the NYC Planner Addicts Facebook group. So if you're not a member, you can join the Facebook group. Again, the planner is free. It is there in the files on that page. So you could download this, jump in where you are. You could, look ahead, see the doodles, practice them, trace them at your leisure. Print these out as often as you need to, and you can even go to the previous pages if you wish. And our live streams are saved here on Instagram, so you can go back and watch the replay at your leisure as well. Yes, I can pin the name of the Facebook group once I'm done with the live. I don't have the link copied on hand, but again, it's NYC Planner Addicts. And you don't need to reside in New York to join, because most of our programming is virtual right now, and I think that we're going to keep a lot of the virtual events. So you can join. And my group is also linked in my bio too. So, so what we'll do is I will start by tracing and filling in the doodle. I will go over the affirmation, and then I will talk a little bit about the journaling prompt. So this doodle, it's purposely made so that you can add your own features and clothing, and even change the body type if you want to have it more representative of your own person. So what I've really enjoyed doing is using these watercolor pencils to trace in the doodle, to add some features, and then blend out those colors that way. So our affirmation is I'm a creative soul, and the doodle goes along with this thought. I think that she would look really wonderful in like shades of purples and pinks and like fuchsias. Maybe I can blend a little bit of mauve in there too. So I'm going to pull these out. We'll start shading and watching the doodle shape up. The joyful one. Okay, you got into the group. Great. I'm so glad. And then in the group again, there's an event there that says 31 days of doodling. You can download the planner from that event, and it's also linked in the files too. So I'm so glad to have new people with us. That is wonderful. So this person, the doodles, it's like mostly straight lines here. I'm gonna make her have like a really fabulous pantsuit. So I'm drawing like some sleeves here. We'll give her some hair, like some big hair. We'll do a round neck. I'm gonna give her some varsity stripes, like she's wearing like an athletic shirt. She's a very active lady, in my mind. So now I'll go in with the next color. So purple's the darkest. I'm gonna go in with the next darkest, which is this this fuchsia here. And then I'm going to go in with the next color, which is like a lighter, it's a hot pink, but it's just a lighter tone than that fuchsia, and fill in the rest of these. And now I'm going to go in and shade her face, as well as give her a little bit of an expression. So I'm going in with her neck first. I'm using this, this is kind of like a creamy beige. So then here's her ear. I'm gonna fill that in. Then I'm going to go around the face with this slightly darker color. It's like a tan, just to give her a little bit more contour. Then I'm going to go around with the darkest color, just around the edge, to provide a little bit more contour. And I'm going to give her a little bit of blush. Right there on the apples of her cheeks. And I'm going to give her a little mouth. So she's got the slight Mona Lisa smile here. And then I'm just going to give her just a little bit of an eye, and then I'm going to grab that brown again. Give her a slight eyebrow. And let's do her hair. I was thinking we could go very, very fun and give her blue hair with some blue highlights, because she's an artist. So I've got my 3 blues. I'm going to go from light to dark this time instead of from dark to light. So I'm just going to go in with some light blue around her face. I'm going to say that her hair is just like flowing. It's just like really flowing around her face. She's got like a lion's mane. I'm going to fill it in a little bit. And then I'll add some highlights with the darker colors. So here's the second blue. I'm just going to add some strands. And then I'm going to add some more, well, they're lowlights because it's a darker color with that dark color. And I think that is good. I'm going to start blending out these colors. These are watercolor pencils again. And I'm just doing that for my process. If you're, I'm always a proponent of using what you have. So I think this would be really pretty with, if you had gel pens to color her in and add some detail. If you had regular colored pencils and you like shading that way and burnishing. If you had gelatos. Today I'm going to do gelatos to do my background for the journaling, the 2-page journaling spread. Crayon, really, whatever. There's no rules. It's up to you. You're the artist. I'm going to blend her face in a little bit so that beautiful blush is just like traveling across her face and that contour is there. Now I'm going to take a slightly larger brush and I'm going to blend out her outfit, and then we're done for this tiny doodle. So I like the watercolor pencils because they give me a lot of control, but also the pigment is beautiful. Like you can see how much brighter the color gets when I start blending. I'm going to blend out her hair just a little bit more. And we'll call it a day here. So I'm going to focus on the affirmation now. The affirmation says, I am a creative soul. I'll move this closer and just so you can see that. And move some of these pencils out of the way. So the affirmation says, I'm a creative soul. And what I enjoy doing with affirmations is to write it down in my planner or in my journaling spreads to really internalize that. So write it here. Quickly, I'm trying not to lean on the doodle because she's still wet. So that's, I am a creative soul. And I do like to add my exclamation points. I really want that to be a powerful statement for myself. Next, the journaling prompt is, what is the most enjoyable part of your creative process? Wow, and this is a heavy question. So on this planner, we've left this space so that you can write the answer to your journaling prompt here. And what I like to do is write like an outline of my journaling response. So I would say the most enjoyable part of my creative process is ABC, like in a bullet point format. And then in my creative journal, I might expand on those thoughts with a more drawn out response, and I would decorate my page with more detail. But when we put this program together, we wanted to make journaling as non-intimidating as possible for people that are new to it. So that's the reason why we came up with this planner, so that anybody can come in and they can decorate the doodle. You could even use this spot to draw your own doodle again if you want to practice making these figures, which is really fun, or you can use this area to do the journaling prompt, as I mentioned. So really no rules, but we wanted the planner to be like as simple as possible and to be that all-in-one thing that you could just use this journal / planner for the whole month and not have to get anything else. So again, I'm going to answer the question, what is the most enjoyable part of your creative process? So I would say the most enjoyable part. There might be a few parts. sometimes a little bit indecisive, and sometimes I like more than one thing. So I'm going to amend my answer. So I would say the most enjoyable parts, P-A-R-T-S, of my creative process are, and then make a list. So the things that I enjoy the most are coming up with new ideas. The second thing would be collaborating with other artists, as I am with Anna this month. Third, I would say learning new techniques. And then fourth, and this will be my last one, well, last but not least, let's say. Fourth is showing others or demonstrating or teaching others techniques. So there is, oh, your son is a lefty too. I know so many left-handed people. Actually, one company where I used to work, everybody in my department was left-handed, and I used to wonder if it was by design or not. So that's really funny. Okay, so this is where you could stop if you just want to do like the simple journaling and the simple doodle and the affirmation, and you can call it a day here. What I like to do is go a step further. I'm just going to move my pencils out of the way and give myself some more space. Excuse the that clanging noise in the background. So I like to take this a step further and do my version of the doodle on a more expanded spread. So I see there's a couple of new people here this evening. I'm so glad to see you guys. So I'm going to just take you through a couple of the previous pages. So this was day one, and I'll show you day one of the planner as well. So here was day one. So that was the doodle, and I recreated it here with like a slightly different outfit, and I copied over the affirmation, and I did a background. So then, and you can get, as fancy or not with your backgrounds. Here I created a die cut of her. Let me move this up so that we have a better vision. So there was the doodle, I made a die cut, and I did another simple background. The next page was this one. I think this was my favorite because it kind of has like that galaxy look to it. So there was the doodle, and I did a version of that on the page. There was the fourth one, which was about investing creative time and energy. So again, I made like a little die cut with watercolor paper and pasted it to the page with a simple background. For this one, I was really inspired to make her into like a runner with some boots, and this is the original doodle. There. After I drew this picture, funny story, I saw Alicia Keys had come out with this new clothing line, and she had a jumpsuit on that looked exactly like this. So that was fun. I was channeling her unknowingly when I did that. In this day we had 2 figures, and then I didn't get a chance to journal my thoughts on this. And then this was yesterday. So yesterday was this intertwining yoga pose, and I was so inspired to take it. I think this is called a tree pose. So I was like, what if she is a tree and she has like the roots coming down and her hair is like this forest canopy. So that was yesterday, and now we'll do something maybe not as ornate as this, but I just want to do like another really simple journaling spread. And for those of you that are beginners, I hope that you try some of these techniques yourself. So today I want to use gelatos to make a simple background, and then I want to color in or draw my sketch and use the gelatos as a watercolor. So I'm going to take the sketch right here for reference. Let me grab my pencil. I like to use a mechanical pencil because I can get a very thin line. And let me figure out where I want to draw her. I think that since she's facing the right, I will put her on the left page, that left facing page, so that she would be facing where my words end up being. So again, this is a very simple sketch. It's like 2 straight lines because she's standing with her feet kind of shoulder width apart. She has great posture. And I'm going to draw her with, I think I might change this to a dress, because I'm wearing a dress today. And her feet are just two very simple shapes, and they're both facing right. And then her arms are just outstretched, very wide. This one is a little bit too long. I'm just going to shorten it. So I'm going to give her a sleeve. She kind of looks like she's making the Y shape in the YMCA song, and now that I've said that, I kind of have an earworm, so I'm a little bit sorry. I'm sorry, guys, if you now have that song stuck in your head. So her hand is, it's kind of facing upward, right? It looks like she's like receiving, or maybe she's like proclaiming. Maybe she's singing that song. So I'm going to do my hands like mittens. I'm not the best at creating fingers. So I think I'm going to draw her as myself. And I'm wearing a scarf, so I'm going to draw her with a scarf. So I'm going to do her face is it's kind of facing the right again. So I'm going to do it as an oval that's like tilted a little bit. I'm going to do the scarf around her head. I'm just going to give her eyes. Let's see, so I'm going to draw these bands here. So her ear would be here. So if the bands are like that, Her eyes would be here. Her nostrils would be here. And her mouth would be right here. Alright, so I'm going to erase those bands. And then I think that's it. That's her shape. I'm going to give her a little bit more of a smile. Alright, now I really love that there's movement. I'm going to give her like her scarf is just flowing in the wind. Alright, so I'm done with the basic shape. Now I'm going to grab my gelatos and start filling her in. Okay, so what I have here is I was using my laminator today, and this is the excess of one of the pieces, which makes a great place to blend your gelatos. So I'm going to pick some gelato colors. So I've got a purple, I've got this is kind of like a rose color. This is a pink. This is a fuchsia. And I have something like a champagne. So I want to keep kind of to this feel, but just with slightly different colors. So I'm going to go with this color, which is melon. So the way that you can use gelatos like a watercolor is you get the gelato onto your piece of plastic, or if you have a blending palette, you could, if you have paint and you have paint palettes, you could get a piece in there. So that's the melon. I'm going to get, I think this is a little too cool now that I'm looking at it. I'm going to try this one. So this is like a rose. Okay, so this is like a mauve-ish color that I was looking for. All right, so as I was saying, you blend them onto your sheet, and then you can grab a brush. I'm going to take, this is a small round brush. I'm using this because I still want a little bit of control, so I'm going with that rosy color first. So you can see once you've added the water, it activates and the gelato becomes very liquidy. It's still a little bit waxy and not as watery as a watercolor, but the waxiness will give it like a lot of pigment. So I'm gonna do her dress in this color. Wow, this is a very bold color. And you see that it kind of goes from light to dark as it leaves the brush. So there's not much consistency of color here, which is also true for watercolors. So if you want to get something with dimension, I think this would be a great technique to try. But the way that I did it, she's facing this way, and I imagine that the light source would be here, so, but it's dark on her side, so I may go back in and see if I can lighten this side, because it seems like the left side should be the darker side. But then that's okay. Like I said, I am always able to, I'm just going to wet my brush a little bit more, always able to fix things. So you see, you can get a very good coverage with this as well, which I like. I may need to get some more gelato onto my palette. but I do like the coverage that I'm getting here. I'm going to go back in and darken her other arm. You know, it looks like I must have had the exact right amount of gelato here on this palette, which is great. That's a sign of good planning. Because I'm going to do her scarf in a different color. I'm going to do this color. So I'm going to get more water on the brush. Because my this color, that pink or that mauvey color turned out to be so pigmented, I want to get this one to be a lot lighter, so I'm adding a little bit more water to it. And I'm going to go in with her scarf. It looks to be almost the same color as that pink. So I was not really going for a monochrome look, but it's ending up that way. But that's okay because I can go back in and add more detail with some pen. Like I have some jelly roll. That's always fun to use. I have some acrylic markers too. Okay, let's give her a shoe. I have this brown color. I'm just gonna paint her feet brown. And then I don't have any gelatos that would be good for a skin tone, so I'm gonna go in to do her skin tone with some Tombow markers. With the brown, let's see if I can get a little bit of pink in there. So it kind of looks like she's wearing leather boots now, which is pretty cool. All right, so I have these Tombow skin tone markers that work really well using this same method. So what I'll do is I'm going to grab these two colors, and the way we use the Tombows as watercolors is you would brush this onto that blending palette. Then you can grab your brush. I'm going to pull a small brush for this. So you see, just as with the gelatos, adding the water activates it. And you can pick up as much water as you can, and then use it as a watercolor. So this is still, it's like a very light tone, so that's why I have the darker brown in my hand. So I'm just going to blend in some darker brown. And we'll use the same color for her hands. Very wet. I'm going to grab my brush again and blend out this blush. And if there's any color left over, I'm going to color in her lips with that. So there's not. So I'm going to just go in with the pencil. I'm trying to give her like just a little bit of shape in her lips. Just gonna blend that out a little bit. And then I'm gonna fix her eye. And give her a little bit of an eyebrow. So she looks extremely joyful here. Just going to soften the eye a little bit. Okay, and then I'm going to soften the eyebrow. Alright, so I'm going to put this aside. Now for the background, I think I'm going to leave it a little bit bare because as I was going through my day, I came across this sticker book from the Happy Planner, and it had a bunch of flourishes. Let me pick this up a little bit. So it had a bunch of flourishes that looked very watercolory, like these. There were like these splotches, and I would like to add some of those to create kind of like a faux watercolory designer background, you know, without having to do like that watercolor part myself. So while she's drying, I'm going to embellish like the rest of this area with some of these items. I know that these books also tend to have like those washi strips. I do love a strong border, and these washi strips would be beautiful in making that border. I think, why don't we commit to like that monochrome look and go with this pink, these pinks and purples. So I'm just gonna stick this here just to reserve that. I like getting all my stickers like at once. I'm just sticking it like the edge of the sticker to the edge of my Cricut so I can grab those really quickly. Alright, so next, so I've got the border element. I would like to use a quote. So I'm going to look really quickly. So my affirmation says, I'm a creative soul. So I want to get a quote that kind of echoes that, maybe in different words. This one is nice. Embrace the journey. It's your time to shine. Those are both great. Her arms are outstretched as if she is going to embrace someone. So I'm going to go with embrace the journey for that. Okay, so that sticker is reserved. And lastly, I want to get a couple of those decorative elements. Maybe this purple. Actually, I think I want to get the clear stickers, and I say that because this paper is not exactly white, and we all know that I'm not like doing my own watercolor background, but I would like that look of the watercolor, you know, on the paper. So I'm going to go with clear stickers because they will show the back of the paper better than a sticker printed on the white backed paper would. So those are my official cheat codes. We're among friends, right? Maybe a couple of these would be cool, like maybe the pink one. Okay, so I'm gonna hold that pink one. And if I'm not mistaken, they might have had some floral elements in this booklet. It doesn't look like they did, but they had these great markings like the X's. Okay, I don't know how many I need, so I'm just going to leave the book open to that on my desk, and let's start adding in the rest of my elements. So we have the border. I'm going to put that right here. I have this shorter piece. I think I'm going to cut this in half so that I don't cover up her hand. We'll have the border like this. And then we have this piece, put that here. And we have this piece, I'll put it here. So my thought is that this page is framed more because this is where the bulk of my journaling is going. So now I have this, I have these two clear stickers that have like a scribble, and I wanted to have journey be like across one of them. I think it would look better across the light part. Let's put this back down, and let's see if I can get this straight. That's backed nicely, and I'm going to get it right here. Alright, so embrace the journey, and I feel like there's still room here for something. How about we do this splotch here? And maybe we can even add another quote. They had some smaller quotes towards the front. So maybe it could be a part 1 and a part 2 of that message. So we have embrace the journey. You got this? Or embrace the journey. It's your time to shine. That would have been cool. I feel like you look on the bright side. It's kind of addressing like a negative problem. Oh, how about embrace the journey, choose to shine. But now the problem is that, oh, maybe I could put it like this. Embrace the journey, choose to shine. Okay, so choose to shine would be like just in the bottom corner, so it's not really like over that dot, but they're kind of like that same element. I like that. And then let me go back to that page that had like those little markings. And let's see how many we need. Maybe one here to complete like the trifecta of elements. Oh, that looks good. And then maybe let's put one in this corner. And let's do maybe 2 here to frame that. There's one there. Actually, I think I might only need one here. Let me think about it. While I'm thinking about it, let's get some ink on her to give her a little bit more definition. So I've got some jelly roll. I have pink. Maybe like to add some complementary colors. I always like to do some white. So this is a 5 and this is a 10. And then I want a plain black pen that's very fine, and I'll use this one. So with the black, I'm going to go around just to add like a few like sketch lines to her outline. This will help a lot, especially with this one, because I chose 2 colors that were so close to one another, to add additional separation and definition. So I'm going to add like just a little bit of folds and like movements to her scarf. And you can see that I tend to turn my work around a lot. It may be because I'm left-handed. I want the part that I'm working on to be as close to me as possible so I can have more control. This is what works for me. So I've got her arm, got her other arm. I'm just going to ink her hand a little bit. I'll add like just a few lines for fingers. That doesn't look too bad. We'll do the same thing on the other side. We get her feet. And then we just get like that interior part of her scarf around her face lined. Okay, so there's the black. I'm going to add like a little bit of lines to her dress because clothing doesn't really hang straight down now, does it? Then I've got this purple. I'm just going to add a little bit here. Let me move the camera a little bit closer. Just to add a little bit of light back in, a little bit more definition. And I'm going to do the same with those other colors, the pink and the darker pink. So I love how this pink looks. So I'm adding it here just so that there can be a little bit of shadow under her arm so that it looks a little bit more defined. And with the lighter pink, I'm going to add a little bit more to her scarf. That's very bright. Again, this is like a salmon color. Just to add like some wrinkles, some movement there. I feel like with inking, you really can't do too much. Like every new layer of ink, you can get more and more definition, more and more detail. Okay, so I'm going to go in with the white. With the white, I am going to be sparing with it. The white, I just want to use it to add some light back in. I don't want too much light. Just a little bit. I think it's just going to be here, just concentrated along the top, because if the light's shining down on her, the shadows would be here naturally. All right, maybe a little bit around her mouth. And I'm going to stop it here. I think this is it. So let me go back to the original drawing just so that you can see a comparison. So I really liked the way that this came out. Very simple. Using, if you have stickers in your stash that you could make a background with, that would be great. Thank you guys for spending some time with me this evening. I hope that you try this doodle yourself. If you do, tag us. We'd love to see your progress and cheer you on in this journey. Have a wonderful rest of the evening, everybody. Bye.